Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to St George's Park, ahead of tomorrow's fixture against Portugal. Please be joined by Sarina and Leah. And Anton, as you have the mic, we'll begin with you.
Morning both.
Morning.
Sarina, let's just start with the Marriott's retirement, shall we? Can you describe us through the events that led up to the decision and how surprised were you?
Well, I can just talk about, of course, that I'm really disappointed and sad that she's not part of the team, because I want her in my team. And that must have been a really hard decision for her. And so it is for us. So, yes, of course, there have been a couple of conversations which I don't want to share here, because that's between us. And it's hard. I find it hard. And it's hard for her at the same time.
What do you find the hardest?
That I want her in my team. And she has done such a great job for England. She has made a massive difference, and we have had an incredible journey so far. And I really cherish that. So that's also where the disappointment comes from too.
You say you're disappointed. Did that ever bubble into annoyance? Because we're only 5 weeks from the Euros, and you've got a very inexperienced group of goalkeepers.
Yeah, of course, that's hard. But I want to keep to disappointment. It's emotional, because you also have a relationship, and we've had such a massive journey together, with lots of highs and of course some lows too. And that's what makes it really hard. But we have to move on too, and we don't have time now to celebrate that, because we have to look forward. We have a game tomorrow, we're going into the Euros, and after that we can think about those things.
Leah, you were still celebrating on Monday, so what was your reaction when you found out?
Yeah, I spoke to Mary. Mary's, I hope she would describe me in the same way, but she's one of my closest friends in football in terms of what we've been through together, the journey that we've been on. So I'm devastated just because I love her. I love being her teammate. I think the way that she wears an England shirt is an example to us all. So I'm very sad that I don't get, those memories aren't going to continue in an England shirt. But for her, and if she thinks this is the best thing, I'll support her in that always.
I'm intrigued from a player's point of view, because obviously you have the personal connection that goes back years, but also, as Sarina was saying, there's the England side to this, which is one, that national duty, and two, the fact that the team is worse off without her. Is that difficult to balance?
Of course, when you have conversations as players, it's like I say, selfishly, I want Mary as my teammate, and I think everybody in the country wants Mary to play for England because of the incredible service that she's given and the passion. I share that, which is why I think on that human level, if I know Mary and I know that playing for her country meant everything to her, and she always did such a great job with it, that I think for her to come to that decision, I will always respect that first, and I care about Mary as a human first before a footballer. But of course, we're a team, and we want to win, and Mary and that team gives us a better chance of winning. I know that to be true.
As a defender, as captain, do you feel as though you've got a little bit of an experience gap in that team, and does that worry you going into a very difficult group at the Euros?
I think, but that's obvious. She's a leader. She's got experience. To lose her obviously leaves a gap there. But we've had that happen before, and players have to step up and show what they're made of also. So across the whole process of, it's not just you guys see what we do on a pitch, but there's obviously hours and hours and days, months that go into being a team that steps out there. And now we have an extra pair of shoes to fill in a number of different areas, and I'm sure the team will be grand. I think that's what you prepare for as a team, so that you're ready for all those eventualities.
So just one more question on Millie. Obviously, she isn't here, and she's been pretty open with the reason why she isn't here. Just how is she, what kind of support is she getting from the team, and how much time does she have, I suppose, with a big tournament not far away?
Yeah, of course. She has to take care of herself. We are in conversations, and but I don't know where that gets to. We have we'll stay in contact, and I hope she feels better soon. But I don't know that yet at the moment.
Thanks, Anton. We'll go to Emma from the BBC. Thank you.
Hi both. Congratulations, Leah,
Thank
obviously on Arsenal's win. Sarina, just to kind of follow up on the stuff you were saying about Mary, appreciate you covered a lot there, but there was some people who, described the decision as a selfish one because of the knock-on effect on obviously the team going into the Euros and the timing, etc. I wondered, like, what's kind of your response to that, and did that cross your mind at any point?
Well, I just want to keep it that I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I want her in the team, and just express the same things that I just expressed to you, and I want to keep it that way.
I appreciate that. And Leah, I suppose, the same question to you.
I think to arrive at that decision must be one of the hardest in your career. So I like I say, a human first. I hope Mary's okay, and I hope this is the best decision for her, and we'll miss her.
Yeah, and just on Millie's withdrawal, I wonder, as a fellow player, how brave do you think that decision was for Millie herself to say, I need to take a break, and for her to make that decision herself and not someone else?
I think for anybody to speak out about mental health is a brave thing to do. I think it encourages other people to do the same. So she's leading by example there, and I've personally stayed. I've given Millie a bit of space. I think when somebody's in that headspace, but naturally, any support that she needs and anything that she needs from the team will be there to give it to her.
Yeah, thanks both. Cheers.
Thanks, Emma. We'll go to Kit.
Hi both. Sarina, you've said you're disappointed and sad about Mary's decision. When you found out that she was retiring, did you try and change her mind at all? Did you say kind of, don't go, we need you? Was there any kind of attempt to keep her around?
Well, of course we have conversations, and as I just said, I want to keep conversations confidential, because that's why we have the conversation together. And she knows I want her in the team, so of course we talked about that.
And were you surprised when she made her decision? Did you have any inkling it was coming, or was it a complete surprise when she told you?
Look, you're asking all these questions, which then gives you insight in our individual conversations we had. I don't want to go that way now.
Okay, fine. And you've had, obviously, Mary's has retired, Millie's dropped out. Is there anything, I suppose, you can do to kind of make sure these withdrawals don't keep happening, or just address any issues there may be, or is it just up to the individual players? If they want to drop out, they drop out, and there's nothing you can do?
As always, we come together, we have conversations with players. I try to connect with players in the best possible way, and of course with clubs. And what you hope is that everyone feels good enough, is fit, feels good enough, feels ready enough to come in. And that's what you're trying to support in. And unfortunately, that is not always the case as we've experienced. I think that's also a part of the increased demands on players on and off the pitch. And we have to keep moving forward and trying to keep giving the support and keep having the conversations together.
And just with Millie specifically, how confident are you that she'll be available for the Euros?
Well, I just hope that this break, that she can have the time, and she takes the time that will help her to get settled again.
In time for the Euros?
Pardon me?
Settled in time for the Euros?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Leah, just sort of similar question about Mary. Just did you try and talk her out of it at all, get her to change her mind, or did you just have to respect the decision?
I would always try and change her mind because, like I say, I want her as my teammate. But I think us as players will know better than anybody else, and we've been through journeys together. And as Sarina says, the demands on and off the pitch. There's so much to play that comes into play nowadays. So I think, like I say, to come to that hard decision, because it would have been a really, really hard decision for Mary. I think I have to respect her in that. But she knows I didn't want her to leave.
Yeah, and on Millie, obviously she's your kind of long-term centre-back partner. How will it, I suppose, impact both the games this month, the preparations for the Euros, that she's not around next year?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's been periods of time through injury where we've both been out at different times, and I've always said I love playing with Millie in an England shirt. I think we've complemented each other well, but I think the team, like I say, a team is set up for any eventuality, and we have important games to win, and we have to focus on how to do that whilst we're here.
Thank you. Sorry, Sarina, just can I check as well with Ella Toon? We think she had some tiredness that she might have sustained while being with Man United. Just where's she at? Ella Toon,
Yeah,
sorry.
she's here.
Yeah, just in terms of, is she fully available for tomorrow?
No.
No. Okay.
No, she's not available for tomorrow, but we're trying to get her fit for Tuesday.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kit. We'll go across to Tom. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Sarina, can I just give you just a chance to clarify a couple of things that have been reported? It's been quite widely reported that you had decided that Hannah was your number one. Is that something that you can confirm? Is that the case? And if so, why did you make that decision in the last kind of few weeks?
Hannah Hampton is now the number one. I said before that she's a little bit ahead, but I don't, at moments you can't look too far forward because you don't know what things happen. Things in football can change very quickly, so that's the only heads up I can give you.
Could I also just ask, it was reported that, it was certainly claimed in quite a few different places that Mary had told you she was thinking about retiring in April and had asked her to reconsider. Is that something that you can either confirm or deny, please?
As I said, we have had conversations. We are in conversations all the time. I think you've asked me a lot about the goalkeepers over the last period, and so we have been as we do with players. I am in conversation with players all the time, and I don't give any information about these private conversations we have.
Could I just ask about a completely different player? We saw Millie Turner on crutches in Lisbon. I'm safe to assume she can't play in the Euros. Is she out of contention?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Which is sad as well, of course. And on Ella Morris,
Yeah.
can I get your reaction to that awful news about her ACL?
Yeah, that is awful. She came in, did really well. No contact, and unfortunately, she torn her ACL. So she's devastated. We are devastated. And of course, we wish her, a good rehab. But that was kind of a shock when that happened.
And in terms of what Millie Bright was saying on the podcast a couple of days ago about her well-being, I'm just wondering to ask you, do you think that the England environment does enough to provide mental health support for England players who are in the spotlight and all the pressures of being an elite athlete? Could England do more?
I think we do whatever we have in our control. We absolutely trying our very, very best. We have also people around that can give that support, and whoever wants it. So it's back and forth. So yes, I think so. I hope so. I hope players experience that way too. I think I think they do. But as I just said too, the demands on the game on and off pitch has increased a lot. So it's incredible how the game develops. Of course, our journey so far, things have changed so massively, but it also comes with higher demands, and we have to adapt to that, and that's not always easy.
Thank you. And Leah, can I ask you about something completely different? It's been reported yesterday that England have agreed a new bonus deal for the tournament. I just wanted to get your reaction to that, and if so, kind of your thoughts on a new deal and what that means to you and the players.
Yes, we've been in conversations for a long time, just on a number of different things. We're consistently trying to raise the standards across English football, for the girls that are here, but also the whole pyramid. And yeah, that conversation was put to bed in April, which is great for us. Focused fully on the tournament, and we got to a place where we feel like we're collaborating with the FA, and what we wanted for us. More so from a tournament perspective was the more important part of that conversation, but of course bonuses was included.
How nice is it to get that all wrapped up early rather than maybe doing it right on the eve of the campaign when you go to Switzerland?
Yeah, more so from a perspective of we go in as, FA Lionesses, we want to be together and want to go forward, we want to feel supported. We did in 2022, and what a fantastic summer we had. So yeah, just to all align and be focused first on football is what's the most important to us.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go across to Charlotte, please.
Morning, Leah. Morning, Sarina. Sarina, what does Mary's departure say about your team being a team?
I think I don't know where you want to go to with this question, but we're talking about Mary and Mary's retirement, and that's hard. It's hard for her. It's hard for us. I've expressed that. We've spoken about that. We wanted her in our team, and that's I just really want to keep it by that answer.
Where I was going is that given her departure and a team as a collaborative and a dynamic. Do you feel that sense of togetherness among your team at the moment?
Yes, I do.
And Leah, can you give us a sense of the atmosphere as you've arrived into camp at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's big news. Mary's been a big player, but I came in. We had a slightly different schedule on the first day. It's business as usual, and we had a great training session yesterday, preparation for Friday. So obviously it's news, and like I say, there'll be a time where Mary will get celebrated, and I can't wait to see her highlights reel because that'll be fantastic. But for now, obviously we have a big game. I won the Champions League on Saturday and was back in 3 days later to prepare. So football doesn't wait; it keeps moving.
And Sarina, Ellie Roebuck, is she in consideration at all in terms of a call-up for England ahead of the Euros?
Well, we keep following goalkeepers all the time, of course. And she's at Barcelona. She hasn't played a lot, so she's not really close, but you never know what happens.
And I appreciate, I'm just trying to clarify details to make it as clear as possible. Tom said, is Hannah Hampton your number one? Of course, now with Mary departing, she is your number one. But ahead of this camp, when Mary and Hannah were still in consideration, was it firm in your mind that Hannah was number one?
Well, we are not in that situation. So that's speculations, and I don't want to talk about that. She was a little bit ahead, Hannah, and that's where we finished.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll go across to Vicky.
I was going to say it's a long way for the mic to travel.
Hi, Sarina. Just
Hi.
a really quick one on team news, other than the players that we already know about and you've mentioned. Is everybody else who was called up available for the Portugal game?
No, Alessia's not available either for tomorrow.
And can you give us a little bit more detail about Alessia and Ella Toon's
Yeah,
issues?
they're not ready for tomorrow. We're trying to get them ready for Tuesday. We need these days. So they're not long-term injuries. It's taking care of them and not taking big risks.
No problem. And can you give any insight into what the injuries are, like ankle, knee, muscle injuries? Or
No, it's a calf injuries.
Calf for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vicky. We'll go across to Catherine.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
Anton touched about the lack of experience in the goalkeeping departments. Obviously, Anna and Chiara haven't been capped before, and in the Nations League games that you need to win, it's harder to just kind of give experience. Is that a concern that the two goalkeepers that are currently behind Hannah haven't yet played any senior minutes?
Yeah, I think these at club they play high-level games, and I think that's experience too. So as we say all the time, the game develops very quickly. The games domestically or internationally too, when you talk about USA, that's a very high level, big routes, things like that. So I think we do have experience. Yeah, and if you look at major tournament experience, then that's the next step.
And just on Hannah, I mean, naturally there'll be a lot of focus on her with Mary's departure, which isn't obviously her fault, but it just will come with it. And does she maybe need a little bit extra support just to kind of, deal with maybe the pressure that's going to come with the spotlight that will be on her now?
Yeah, I think both have been in the spotlight all the time over the last month, year, I would say. And so I don't think that's changed. The spotlight is on us. The spotlight is on every single player, and the spotlight is also on Hannah Hampton. As I said too, we always are in conversations with players, and we always try to give them the best support they need. And that's back and forth, or that's responsibility for the player and us, and also, and in collaboration with club.
Okay, we'll take a final question from Tara.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
I was just wondering if you had an update on Lauren James and how close she is.
She is in rehab still. She's in a good place in rehab, doing really well. Yes, we want to get her, and she wants that too, get her prepared for the Euros. So far, she has ticked the boxes that she needs to tick, and we're just progressing her. She's progressing at club together with, in collaboration with the FA, with us. And we just hope she keeps moving forward and that she can join the team later on. Not in this camp, but later on.
Cool. Great. We'll see a lot of you tomorrow at Wembley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.